Oh, quiet. Hello? Is anyone there? Give this a second to kick in and see what happens. Is this working? Have I turned this on? Yes, it looks like I have turned it on. And we are in action. Good stuff. Good afternoon, one and all. How is everybody? Right. I have been non-stop today and my brain is a bit frazzled, so I thought I just wanted to take a little time out and have a little break. So I thought I'd jump on the live, make myself available. It's been mad busy today, which is good. I'm not complaining. Not complaining at all. So, yeah, it's a good position to be in. But, yeah, it does take its time on the old grey matter for a little bit. So, here we go. So, yeah, feel free to ask your questions. That's what I'm here for. And I will do my best to answer them for you. Don't forget to like and give me a follow if you haven't already, because that's always good. And if you want to check out the website, do that through mellowfinancial.co.uk. In there, I have a 5% mortgage. Can you give me... I don't know what the hell the Zuck means. What does ZUCC mean? I don't know. Is that something rude? You trying to be funny? I don't know. But anyway, yeah, if you want to book in a call, you can do so through the website, mellowfinancial.co.uk. Let me turn off all the noises in the background here. There we go. They are off. So, yeah. What's everyone up to in the world? I don't know what I was going to say. Freddie, thank you. Do you like it? I'm using a new camera, new microphone, so hopefully the sound is better. So yeah, fingers crossed. If my mortgage advisor says that I can't afford a £250 property, can you give me what? I don't know what the Zuck means. If you ask another question with Zuck in it, you're going to get blocked. Do you work from home every day? Yes, we do. Yeah, I do. We had an office, but it was far too noisy, and also this means that I can just work from my desk late into the night. Like I've got quite a lot of stuff to be doing this evening, so. The office I used to be at used to shut at 6 and it just didn't work out. So, yeah, that's why. Can you still get a mortgage with old default in your credit report? Yeah, you can. We just need to know more details around it, really. Looking at, is it satisfied? Is it unsatisfied? What are the dates on it? You know, when was it registered? But yeah, absolutely. So I'd recommend getting a check my file report and then sharing that with your broker or advisor. They're exactly the same thing. And yeah, going from there. There are lenders out there who will accommodate defaults, CCJs, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, don't let that put you off. We are little magicians when it comes to things like that. Averse credit. There's plenty of lenders around who will do that. I moved over to a 2-year tracker from locking a fixed rate 5 years. Do you think rates might drop? Not with the trackers, because the tracker will rely on the Bank of England base rate going down. I moved over to a 2-year tracker. I don't think they're going to reduce the base rate in September. I really don't. Do all bank statements? Do all lenders require bank statements? Yeah, they do. Should I wait to get it removed in November? Oh, if it's that old, it's probably going to have little effect now. Certainly, if it's satisfied. But if it's that old, I mean, that must mean it's nearly 6 years old, because it will sit on your credit file for 6 years. But check my file report. There's a link in the bio to get a free one if you want to go and get one, and that'll tell you everything you need to know about that. Right, be prepared for an interruption because the little beasts have just returned home. They are under strict instructions not to disturb me during the day, but guess what? Children can't be trusted. So, yeah. Apologies if there is an interruption. How can I... Hang on. I'm just trying to look at something. There we go. 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 Definitely satisfied. Okay, good. I bought a buy-to-let a year ago. Is it a good time to remortgage? Well, it's a good time to remortgage when your deal needs assessing. If you're on a fixed-term deal, then it's probably not going to be worthwhile because you'll be having to pay early repayment charges, and that will be expensive. I'm 40, work full-time. What's the maximum length mortgage I can get? So if you go on just general pension age, then you're looking at 68, so that'll be 28 years. However, there are lenders that will lend to you up to the age of 75 if you're still in employment. So there are options to go longer. When we come to remortgage, does this go off the new value of the house? Freddie, absolutely yes. So yeah, at a remortgage stage, the house is revalued and therefore goes on that. So potentially you can move down sort of loan to value brackets. So, and that's why when people ask, is it a good time to buy? The answer is, well, yeah, because houses generally only get more expensive. So therefore, you start realising the increase in value from the start. I sent my payslips off to my mortgage, for my mortgage, but my old address was on the payslips. Will that cause an issue? Maybe it's gonna create questions. We've done some big work on the house. Oh, nice work, Freddie. I hope you're enjoying it. Hope you're enjoying being a homeowner. Freddie there in the comments is one of my previous clients. Oh, existing client, you know, because we will still help him out, obviously, when the time comes. Is it true that is a buyer's market at the moment? Yes, I think that could be argued as the case, yeah. Although there's not much supply. I don't know, it's a fine line. Got 10 years left and 40k. Should I sacrifice what I saved for the kids so far? I do lump sum. I'm not a financial advisor, I'm afraid. Are we still okay for our meeting at 4? That's not with me, that's with Joe. So yeah, that meeting this afternoon will be with Joe and he'll call you. My wife's having IVF. Well, good luck. Should I pretend she's hiding balloons under a jumper to hide the debt? Not answering that. But good luck with the IVF. Is it worth paying off 2 defaults when applying for a... Yeah, absolutely. An unsatisfied default on your credit file is far worse than a satisfied one. Absolutely. How does having an IVA affect mortgage application? Massively, Emma. If you're currently in an IVA, you'll find it nigh on impossible to get a mortgage. How did you get into the job? I decided one day I had some spare time, so I wanted to do my qualifications. I worked in financial services for 20 odd years and then thought, you know, I know about mortgages, so why not go do my qualifications, get qualified, and crack on with it. So that's exactly what I did. What's the best place to check my credit file? That would be check my file. There is a link in my bio so you can get a free credit report. So use that and then you'll see exactly what is evident to lenders on your credit file. So link in the bio. Is simple to R. Can I do equity transfer from 50% owner to myself for any amount, non-specific amount? My IVA finishes in 2027. Will I have a chance after this is being successful? So once the IVA is completed, then yes, options start opening up to you, but they will be limited to start with. The longer time goes on, you'll get more and more options, more lenders that are going to be able to provide you with something. So, I mean, time is a healer when it comes to credit issues. That will sit on your credit file for a good 6 years. But as time goes on, it will get better. Is there a chance my application can get rejected due to funny jokes? There is a myth that happens. I've never experienced it. But I could see, if you got an underwriter on a bad day and they found some of the jokes offensive, then they could easily find a reason to reject the application, I'm sure. But I don't know. I've not had experience of it. What's the cost of solicitor fees to remove a person from a mortgage? Well, to remove them from the mortgage, it isn't it's a legal thing. To remove them from the deeds of the house, you'll need to get a quote for that. I've had a default notice at 20 years old. Other than that, good credit. Want a mortgage in a year, can I? Get that default satisfied ASAP. If it's in the last 12 months, you will struggle, but there might be a couple of options. You may need a big deposit. Can you avoid second property tax by your spouse buying solely before marriage? No. When you clear your debt, how long do you have to wait to apply for a mortgage? You can do it straight away if you've got the evidence to show that you've cleared it. The thing is, it can take up to 4 months for it to show on a credit file that the debt has cleared. But you will have the evidence, be it a credit card statement showing a zero balance, a letter from the lender saying this has been totally cleared and closed. Use a mortgage broker, and then we can present that to the lender and say, look, the debt's gone. Is it better to overpay my mortgage? If so, when's best to do it weekly, monthly, or at the end of the year? Yeah. Any overpayment is brilliant. Make sure you are allowed to make overpayments, though. So look at your paperwork for your mortgage and make sure you're allowed to and you keep within the limits. More regular payments are better than one lump sum due to the way the interest is calculated, and that will help you save more interest. If a CCJ is paid, will this affect my mortgage? Yes, because the CCJ will be showing on your credit file. The good thing is you have satisfied it. It's been paid. So yeah. However, it's still on your credit file, so it will have an impact. What will interest rates be in a year? I don't know what the lottery number is going to be next week. Done a check my file, only one red advisory from 2019 of a late payment. Other than that, nothing. Is it red? If it's red, that's not good. So that's a missed payment, late payment. So that will have an impact. Not huge, but it will need looking at. Not a good broker then, are we? What does that mean? What's that in relation to? So I'm not a good broker because I can't tell you what the interest rate is going to be next year. Jog on, Assad. What an idiot. We have shared ownership 50-50. If having the choice, would you pay off the mortgage or the rent? Well, you've got to pay both. It's not a choice. Read but 2019 and disputed it when it happened. If it's still showing on your credit file, then it's still there. Still an issue. Still an issue. Term coming to an end. Haven't paid off mortgage. Shall I sell and buy again? I assume you're on an interest-only mortgage then. You can remortgage it onto a repayment, so then hopefully you can get the balance down. But yeah, it very much depends on your circumstances whether you sell it or not. Any way we can book a call? Absolutely, Visual Media. If you want to book a call, you can do it in there's two ways you can do it. One is to go through, let me just try and get my finger in the right place. Go through the website there, Mello Financial, and there's numerous, go into contact and it says book a call, and that will open up the bookings page. Or there is a link in my TikTok bio. So if you go in there, it says book a call. Again, it opens up, and then there's links where you can go through and book in a call. So yeah, feel free to book in a call. It's free, there's no commitment. Can you get a mortgage without having a credit card? Absolutely, that's a myth. It's a myth that you have to have a credit card to get a mortgage. Yes, you can. Will my bank as a student affect me buying a house, even if I have enough money for deposit? Chris, you will need income. You need income to get a mortgage. So if you're a student, full-time student, I apologise if you can hear a screaming child. Average, how much can you negotiate on a house to lower the price? I understand it depends. You can offer whatever you want. There are no rules around making offers on properties. Offer what you want. Worst that they can do is say no, and then you can just put in a higher offer. Does a big deposit get you a lower rate? Generally, yeah. Pretty much. How long should you wait to apply for a mortgage after finishing IVA? If you want the best choice of lenders and products, 6 years. But you can do it, within the 12 months since the IVA's ended, but you will just be limited with your lenders and therefore the rates and things like that. How many coins should I save to put in a bag to swim? Yeah. Are my comments just invisible? I don't. The comments go through so quickly. I'm afraid I will often miss them. So sorry if I miss your comment. They do fly through. I've seen that one, but no. Do you think it's a bad idea to sign a 5-year fixed rate in current economy? No. It very much depends on your circumstances. There are reasons why you would take a 5-year fixed. There are reasons why you take a 2. It's just very individual. Depends on what you're looking to do. Does gambling affect getting a mortgage? Depends how much gambling we're talking. If it's like tenner at the weekend, that's not a problem. If it's a substantial amount each month, then yeah. What I would advise, if you're worried about it, just stop gambling 3 months before you put in a mortgage application, because then there'll be no gambling transactions showing on your bank statements. If you're not able to do that, then it's a problem, and therefore it is an issue. Any idea the interest rate will come down anytime soon? Interest rates are coming down all the time. How can I buy an auction house? I don't do auction work. I keep well clear of auction work. It's more hassle than it's worth. What interest rates range for a limited company? All right, there's no point asking me what interest rates are, because there's thousands of them out there and it very much depends on situations. First time buyer tips, go to our website and download our first time buyer guide, which you might find useful, or book in a call and we will talk you through it all. Average deposit, 5 or 10%. And as soon as we can get a call, I don't know, because with me, probably a little while. But there's also Joe. I think Joe's got good availability. Why could my mortgage have been declined? It wasn't due to high loan to value, credit, or affordability. Maybe you applied to the wrong. Did you go through a mortgage advisor? They should be able to tell you. If you didn't and you did it yourself, then it's probably because you went to the total wrong lender for your situation and criteria. 50% shared ownership. Will during inheritance. What should I pay off? Well, you can't pay off rent. So mortgage if you want. Can you get 100% mortgage? Potentially, yes. But it's very tight criteria around them, very specific circumstances. Due to change jobs in October, my fixed rate comes to an end of Jan. Will this affect it? So October, November, should be all right. No, you should be fine. Most lenders will be all right because you'll have 3 months pay slips. Some might have an issue if you are in probation, but very rare. Max, just ask your question again. I clearly missed it. So ask it again. I'll try and spot it. Do you get penalised for having kids when applying for a mortgage? Yep. Well, not penalised, but it affects your affordability. Okay, never mind. Have a good day. Max, I've not seen your question, so it's clearly been filtered out, so I'm not seeing it, so it's got something rude in it. Would there be difference buying a house with a 12-month contract at work opposed to permanent? Yeah, we're going to need to know the situations around the contract, how long you've been doing it. Ideally, you'd have been on it for 12 months, and ideally we want to get some confirmation it's going to be extended. Would there be difference if my parents put their house for sale market value? Could I put down low offer? Your parents could sell it to you at a reduced rate, and that would be called a concession repurchase. Part buy or full mortgage for first time buyer, not bother about leaving it to the kids. Part buy or full mortgage? What do you mean part buy or full mortgage? I have bad credit history, few missed payments on credit card, but zero debt now and 20% loan to value. Is it possible? You mean 20% deposit? Um, it depends. When you say few missed payments on credit cards, depends how long ago they were. We need to get the dates and things on the credit file. So get a check my file report and check it on there. What's better, fixed rate mortgage or variable cost more? It's whatever suits your circumstances and your attitude to risk, all of which is assessed by a mortgage broker when you're going for a mortgage. I don't do commercial mortgages. Thinking of buying in a year. Am I better to see an advisor now to see what I can get? Unless there's going to be substantial changes in the finances, you can do. I mean, if you're going to be paid more in a year, you might want to do it later so that the calculations can be worked out on a bigger salary. But yeah, I mean, no harm in doing it. Inheritance, pay off mortgage now or pay off when renewal is due. Probably when renewal. Well, it depends really, because if you pay it off now and you're in a fixed term deal, you will have an early repayment charge. It just depends how much interest you will be paying between now and your actual sort of end of your deal term to work it out. We applied within 3 months and got declined. Oh, what's the minimum amount of employment that looks good as I change from a low income to high income? We applied after 3 months and got declined. You probably applied to the wrong lender then. You can avoid all these issues if you use a broker, someone who knows what they're doing. Can I get a mortgage 1 year self-employed? Potentially yes, but your lender choice is going to be very limited. Been PAYE for 5 years, last 6 months, got 1k a month side hustle. How long before lenders will acknowledge? You'll need to do that on a tax return. So you need to declare that income through a tax return, and they will only take it after you've had at least one tax return done. Took equity from our house and they set up a separate mortgage for the money we took. Any negatives? Yeah, so you've got two parts to your mortgage. So any additional borrowing will go down as and that can cause problems because, of course, they're probably going to be expiring at different periods. So when you come to remortgage, you're kind of stuck. You need to come up with a strategy to get those accounts both into line so then you can remortgage the whole lot into one. But yeah, it can be done. You did use a broker. That broker should have known better. Is it the right time to do buy to let? Well, as long as you get the right property for the right price so you can charge the right rent. Yeah, I think you're finding a lot of landlords struggling now because they base their model on sort of 1% and 2% interest rates. If you get it now and you can afford it all now with the rent, then you should be all right. If I pay my credit card off now, how long until shows is paid off? Want to know how long it will wait. So it can take 3-4 months maybe on a credit file. So yeah. Can I cancel my life insurance and can I change my bill? You can cancel your life insurance, but I'd suggest not because you'll never get it for that price again. The older you get, the more expensive life insurance gets. So if you've got it, I mean, mine is like 17 quid a month from when we bought our first house, and there's no chance we get it for 17 quid now. I can't change my bill. You can change your building insurance, yeah. They will re-rate it, get a premium for it. I have low credit and I'm paying off a loan but earn well. Is it hard to get a mortgage? Very much depends what's on your credit file. When you say you have low credit, what does that mean? We're not interested in scores. We're interested in the content of the credit file. So get a credit file, get a check my file. There's a link in the bio for a free one. And go from there. If you've got income, then you should be all right. House I want for cash buyers, but got mortgage offer. What? Watson knows. I have an active loan, credit cards, and a default of 40 quid. Well, the default is the one that's causing you pain then. That default, get that default satisfied. Is it a good thing or bad thing that credit card companies keep putting up my limit? Well, you can look at that in two ways. It's good because clearly your credit file says they can. It's bad because the temptation's there to spend. How do these things work, bro? Like, actually, what kind of question is that? Do you need an accountant to do buy to let? No. But if you're doing buy to let, then you're going to have to be doing tax returns. So it just depends how confident you are with that. I'm mortgage free. I wish to sell and buy a lower price house. Does the taxman take 20% of my money? I'm not a tax advisor. I have 10k loan, 10k credit card debt with my partner. Will this reduce my mortgage by a lot? It will affect. Yeah, it will affect your affordability because they'll count, particularly on a credit card. The loan repayments we know, but when it comes to credit cards, they generally go on about 3% of the outstanding balance as the monthly repayment. So, yeah, it can do. Is any mortgage lender can be a fraud? What? Default was paid, but staying on file. Yeah, okay, cool. So the default's satisfied, so that's good. It's better than it being unsatisfied. How do loan repayments affect the mortgage? Because it's called a committed expenditure. So the money you are paying on the loan each month can't be used to pay a mortgage because it's obviously spent elsewhere. So that means they just offer you less. You're not able to borrow so much. How long up to completion can you keep changing your rates? Probably about 2 weeks because it's going to take a number of working days to actually draw down the money from the lender. So, yeah. Do brokers look at credit score, just the credit file when finding a mortgage? It's the content of the credit file. Credit score is totally irrelevant. Lenders don't look at the credit score either. There's quite a few that don't even credit score. Of the lenders that do credit score, they have their own ways of calculating a score based on the content and conduct of your credit file. Can I add someone to my mortgage, e.g. my partner? Potentially, but they will obviously need to be assessed and fit with the criteria of the lender. I have low credit, a couple of CCJs from years ago and satisfied default. How long before I can try? You can try now because there are lenders out there who are designed to cope with credit adverse clients. So absolutely, if you want to do that, then get your credit file and take a look. What on credit file is a red flag to lenders? Any missed payments, defaults, CCJs, IVAs, CFAS markers, lots of debt, loads of stuff. Me and my partner earn 50k a year in total and have 5% deposit on a 210k. Is that enough? Yeah, should be alright. So 210 minus 5%. Divide that by half. Yeah, you should be fine with that. Do you have to earn under 90k to get first time buyer schemes? Well, there aren't any first time buyer schemes. So why does paying off Help to Buy work when remortgaging? How does paying off Help to Buy? Okay, so your process you have to go through. You have to get the house valued by a RICS surveyor. That's RICS. And then you have to send that valuation off to the Help to Buy people who will confirm how much they want you to pay back. Then you have to contact or tell your broker, and then you could ask for that amount in terms of a remortgage, and then the solicitor will make all the changes to show that the Help to Buy loan has been repaid. They will remove that charge from the property and it's all done and dusted. Get in touch, book in a call, and I can guide you all through it. Will there be any more first time buyer schemes? Oh, who knows? Is it better to pay off your mortgage early? Better than what? Better than carrying on paying it? Well, surely paying it off early and getting rid of it, you're living the dream mortgage free. Do you know that any more first time buyer schemes coming? No. Our fixed plan is ending at Christmas. Can we get another mortgage arranged even though we have debts? Should be able to. Just depends on the old affordability and how much the debts cost you. But if it's ending in Christmas, I'd start looking into it now. Certainly if you've got debts to consider as well. You may be able to consolidate some of those debts. You never know. It could be an option. So if you want to book in a call, do so. You can do through the website mellowfinancial.co.uk or by using the link in my TikTok bio. Better paying it off and buy another house for rental. How do you withdraw money from a LISA to pay a mortgage deposit? You just withdraw it from the LISA. How does Nationwide Helping Hand work? So it's just they will provide 5.5 times income. They'll provide up to 95% mortgages. Pretty much that's it. It increases your affordability basically. What are the other fees when buying besides deposit? I'm in Scotland, so you need probably a survey, solicitor's fees, broker fees, depending on the amount you're purchasing for. The stamp duty equivalent might not be applicable though. How much debt is too much? Me and my wife earn 70k between us. Depends. It all depends on affordability. I'll have to put it through calculators to work it out. It's very different. It varies by lender. Is it hard to get a mortgage at 19? No, not if you've got a deposit and income. How long should you pay a mortgage over? As long as you want. There is no right or wrong answer to that question. The pros to having it longer mean your monthly repayments will be less, but you'll end up paying more interest. The pro to doing it shorter is you'll pay it off quicker and you'll pay less interest, but your repayments each month will be very high. What you can do is spread it over a long time to get the payments low as possible, which might leave you spare cash to do overpayments, which means you can then bring it down and down and down. It's all stuff we discuss with our first time buyers or clients when they're getting mortgages. What are you expecting rates to drop by the next 2 years? I'm not necessarily expecting rates to drop. I think they're relatively at where they're going to be, 3.5% to 4.5%. My mortgage broker told me to get my first mortgage over 35 years, which I wish I have gone for 25. Why is that? I mean, you could have gone for 35 and overpay and therefore reduce it down to 25. I'd probably agree with your broker. Is it possible to get a buy-to-let without paying 25% deposit? No. Mortgage fixed rate ending in April, but Accord not sending new paperwork out until February. Yeah, that's fine. Some lenders send it out 6 months before. Some lenders send it out 3 or 4 months before. Just varies by lender. After an AIP, is it just statements that could potentially stop getting a mortgage offer? No, there's loads of things. AIP is a very loose check just at your credit file and your identity. At full application, it goes through to proper underwriting where they will open up the bonnet and have a good look around. They'll look at statements, credit history, pay slips, all that kind of stuff. They'll check the house is worth what it is. They'll check fraud markers, all that kind of thing. So there's lots of things that could get a mortgage declined at full application. Can you get a second mortgage low term then switch to buy-to-let mortgage? No. You need 25% equity to get or deposit to get a buy-to-let mortgage. Is there still rate attached to fully offset mortgage? You want an offset mortgage. There's very few out there these days. Struggling to save, but it's gone. Can I do further advance to pay back Help to Buy? That's generally the idea of it, the Help to Buy. So the hope being that in the 5-year period where you don't pay anything for the Help to Buy loan, the house increases in value, which means you can then get additional borrowing or on your remortgage go for more to pay it off. So yeah. How long can you change your employment after you complete? After you've completed, it's done and dusted. Do what you want, pretty much. As long as you keep paying the mortgage, that should be fine. What are the downsides to offset mortgages? You've got to keep your money in your account if you want to offset the interest. So, you can't spend the money really. Will taking out a new failed contract affect mortgage application when I have a good credit? I shouldn't do. How close are we to seeing under 4% for 2-year fixeds? Not far. I think I saw one with Nationwide, which was 4.1, but that was for 60% loan to values. You'll always see the best rates in the lower loan to values to start with. What soft checks are done during AIP and what could stop you getting it? Well, it's a soft credit check that's done at AIP stage. And they will look at your credit file, and if they don't like it, then they won't give you an application in principle. We're looking at a mortgage over 25 years. Should we do 35 and overpay? It depends if that's part of your strategy. It's a legitimate strategy. I mean, a few of my first time buyers have done that because the longer term, as long as you're going to make the overpayments, I'd say. If you're not going to make the overpayments, you will pay more interest over a 35-year period. But if you are going to make the overpayments, and it could be quite a viable thing to do, my wife's credit is not good, but mine is okay without affecting getting a mortgage. Yeah, if you're both going on application, yes, it will. Do I have to let my lender know about changing my buildings insurance? No. They just require that buildings insurance is in place. How hard is it to get equity out of a current mortgage for a deposit for a buy-to-let? There are lenders out there who will let you borrow the additional for a buy-to-let deposit. You just have to be able to afford that additional borrowing. I'm 40 soon. I have rock bottom credit. I can't get a mortgage, but I've never missed rent payment. Okay, but so what's the issue? Why can't you get a mortgage? What's the issue on the credit file? That's what we need to know. First time buyer, can you get a mortgage more than the house price to incorporate renovations? No. Is 5% deposit a bad idea? No, I've got plenty of buyers doing a 5% deposit. Gets them on the housing ladder, and then hopefully your house will start increasing. So you go from there. My ex-partner is currently in the process of trying to buy me out of my home. Once I'm... Oh, right, okay. How much can you overpay a year? It varies by lender and product, but generally it's 10% of the outstanding balance in a calendar year. However, I have seen some that do 20%. Look at your paperwork, it will tell you in there. Can I get another mortgage on a shared ownership when you're already having a mortgage on the same? No. Any advice on mortgage for foster carers? In fact, Halifax released an email today to say they now accept foster income as income. We did 5%, been last 3 years now, loving life. Exactly. There you go. Matty knows it. So he saved 5% deposit, bought a house, and happy days. Can I get a mortgage on a work permit visa? Is that a tier 1 visa? You're gonna need probably a big deposit. How long before applying a mortgage should you not apply another credit? Good 3 months, I'd say. It's possible to get a mortgage with credit card debt. Potentially, yes. Yeah. The existing credit card debt will just affect how much you can borrow. Me and my boyfriend had bad credit. I work part-time and he's self-employed. Will we have any chance of a mortgage? Well, when you say bad credit, I need to know the reasons why. What are the issues? The other issue there is that self-employed, so he's going to need at least a year's accounts and tax returns filed. Otherwise, there's no way of proving income. Is now a good time to remortgage? If your deal is up, then yes. What insurance is compulsory for a mortgage house? Buildings insurance is the only insurance that's compulsory. How do I remortgage as buy-to-let if my equity from the original mortgage has not reached 25%? Well, you need a 25% deposit. You need 25% deposit or equity, so you can put in money to bring it up to the 25%. Interest rate like to go down for the rest of the year? Who knows? Depends on how the economy performs. I don't expect we'll see a base rate reduction in September because inflation's crept up a little bit. We would just have to see. Have to see what happens. I'm still fixed at the minute and got a year left, but looking to consolidate debt. Well, if you do it now, you will pay an early repayment charge, and there's just there's no reason to do that. That's just crazy. If I buy a house at 170k, little TSC up to 90, does the mortgage go down? The mortgage remains the same, but the value's gone up, so your loan to value changes. I'm due to remortgage. Should I stay with my current mortgage provider as the interest rate is low? You need to compare it to the rest of the market. Use a mortgage broker. We will look at the rates from your existing provider, compare those to the wider market, and then give you advice and do it for you. 24, and me and my partner work full time. Can we do a 5% deposit? Looking at 300k house. You can do a 5% deposit. You're going to need to earn quite a bit though, because you're going to be mortgaging 95% of 300k. Minus 5%. Divide that by 1.5. You're going to be needing a combined income of about 60 to 65,000 for that. How much could I get on a 26k salary employed for 3 years? Times that by 4.5 and go from there. My house price is going down. I think it's regional. I think we've seen the worst. I think we might start turning a corner and going up. But yeah, 50k salary, 6k debt. Times the 50 by 4.5. And that's roughly, very roughly, because it depends what kind of debt it is. It would have to be properly assessed, but times the 50 by 4.5 and go from there, I'd say. Got a mortgage offer 2 months ago, 90% loan to value. A broker says no change in market and lower. That's rubbish. They just don't want to do it. That's rubbish. Do you think interest rate will continue marginally fall? Potentially, yeah. Very slight tweaks. Can you offer to buy the rest of the house with shared ownership? You can do, as long as you're allowed to do staircasing. Should have been checked that you're allowed to do staircasing. If it is, then yeah. Why do some underwriters request one document at a time rather than all one go? So, yeah, I mean, they will. I mean, you got to think they got a pile of stuff on their desk. As soon as they come up with one issue, they will ask to have it satisfied, rather than spending time checking the rest, because that one issue could stop the whole application. So yeah, they do it one at a time. Me and my partner, early 4-3. What? Don't understand that question. Work on Newbill site and seeing more sales in recent months compared to... Yeah, Lee, definitely. I mean, we're on a... I mean, our house is what? 6 years old now, but they're still building. I've noticed that some of the ones that have been built and completed have been sitting empty and not selling for a while. But I've noticed that they're starting to get more interest and things are starting to move again. So, yeah. What is the best rate for buy-to-let? The best rate for your circumstances. There's loads of them out there, and it very much depends on what you're looking at. What is discussed in the mortgage appointment? Anything I can do for preparation? Well, with us, it's just an initial chat, just to find out what you're looking to do, you know, what your salaries are, very basic information, and just chatting about what you want to achieve. So nothing really to prepare. Had a phone call with you the other day. Thank you very much. Ah, Michael, no problem. No problem at all. Going through application with Halifax. It's being valued next week. Is this a good stage to get? Yeah. Can you get a mortgage if on universal credit? You can, but if that's the only income you've got, you're not going to be able to borrow very much. Do you think interest rates will ever be under 2% ever again? No, not unless there's a major financial issue. So no, don't wait for rates to go back to 1 or 2%. Are home movers or first-time buyer rates typically lower than the other? Varies by lender, but I would say... Well, it depends what they're targeting, because, of course, lenders can target different segments with better rates. But I would say home movers, is getting an AIP a good sign? Yeah, it's not a bad sign. It's a good sign, but there's further steps to go through. I'm on 30k and partner's on 20. What would we be looking at house price wise? So times that, so 50k. I mean, if you've got a decent credit file, might be able to get you $250 plus your deposit. What our combined income is $4,300 a month. Is that enough for 95% reward? What's your we need to know what your annual salary is. Would you recommend coming to yourself before having a deposit for advice on what to correct? What do you mean, what to correct? What are the concerns? What are the issues? What qualification do these underwriters have? Do some of them start as a mortgage brokers? Yeah, I think some of them would. They are qualified. They're obviously qualified by the lenders to meet their criteria. It's just about risk. They'll have numerous computer models that they use to assess the risk. It's not sort of like they'll sit there with a piece of paper. Some of them literally just check documents and stuff and then plug a few figures into the computer, and that tells them the answer. The more bespoke lenders, building societies, the one that actually do proper underwriting, they're good underwriters. What order should you pay stuff off to get a mortgage? Active, debt, or defaults? Defaults are the worst. Get your defaults satisfied. An unsatisfied default is awful on a credit file. I've got car finance, loan repayments, and credit card balance of $1,500. Can I still get a mortgage? It depends how much you earn. Those committed expenditures will reduce how much you can borrow, so it really depends how much you can earn. I'm house owner. I am eligible for rent to buy. What? I have those things and when 66k with my partner. Okay, but it depends how much all the repayments are. It needs to be assessed. I can't obviously tell you on here. But if you've got 66k, it just depends how big the loans are, how big the monthly repayments are. Combined income 110. First time buyers, how much can you borrow? I'd times that by 5.5, and that's a rough starting point. What's the best time to call? There isn't a best time to call because we're insanely busy a lot of the time. So just book in a call into our diaries and we will give you a call then. So book in a call. You can do it through, where's the thing? Do it through the website, Mellow Financial, or through the link in the TikTok bio. That's the best thing to do because then that time is yours, uninterrupted, and you'll be able to get hold of us. So I would recommend doing that. Can you move house without deposit but have over 20? Yes. So Michelle, if you're selling your property, your deposit will come from the proceeds of the sale. So yeah. So pretty much when you are a first time buyer, your deposit is a lump of cash. You then put that into the house and you'll never see it again. Because when you sell and move, that deposit is just sort of like numbers on a piece of paper. You never see it. It just gets all transferred around. Can mortgage advisors tell lenders to check Equifax instead of TransUnion, for example? No, but what we can do is check which lenders use which referencing agencies. So if there's an issue showing on one referencing agency, then we can look for lenders that don't use that agency. That's why we want a Check My File report, because they report on the 3 main agencies. Ooh, it all ties up, you see. How much your charges? Is it a fixed fee or percentage? It's a fixed fee of $349, which is only payable when we get you a formal mortgage offer. If go direct to lender, get pre-approved, but rates goes down in the meantime, will my rate change? Not automatically, no. You will have to keep an eye on it and ask them to change it, and they won't generally do it. Well, they won't necessarily do it. The best thing to do is go through a broker and we will take care of it. I've changed 2 rates today for 2 of my clients and sent them a lovely email saying, by the way, the rate went down, so I've changed it for you, so you're now going to be paying less. Use a broker. I'm remortgaging following end of fixed term. Do the banks revalue my house? What if value is lower? They will revalue the house. If it's lower, then that might cause some issues. I doubt it would be though. Do brokers look through your pay slips and statements before you submit mortgage application? Yes, we do. So we make sure that everything is in order so that when application time comes, we're confident it'll be all right. For second purchase as a main home, but keeping the first to let, do we pay higher stamp duty? Yes. You'll pay an additional 3%. Right, we're coming up to 50 minutes, so we're going to call it a day in a minute, I think. I am asked to put a deposit of $2,500 as soon as offer is accepted. Do you think I should not go for it? No, you shouldn't be doing that. What do you mean deposit $2,000? That doesn't sound right. That sounds dodgy. Why do some brokers charge and some don't? Just a difference in operating model. So we charge a fee because we value the service we offer. We are professionals. It also means we don't have to take on so much work to churn. So there is a big company called London and Country who don't charge a fee, but you'd be amazed at the amount of clients I get coming to me after they've been to London and Country, and the service they've received is shocking. So you get what you pay for generally. Example being, you can send me a message any day of the week and I will reply. You try getting hold of London and Country at the weekend. There's your answer, Joe. 97k salary, how much can I borrow? Times it by 5.5. That's your starting point. Is it possible to consolidate loans into a mortgage? It is. We need to. It's a very regulated process we have to go through to assess it all. But yes, it is. How would being on maternity pay affect our ability to move? Will a bank consider my salary? Yes, so when it comes to maternity pay, it depends on what your plans are post-maternity leave. So we ask for a letter from your employer confirming the date you're going to go back and the terms of your employment that you're going to be on, so the salary. If it's exactly the same, then we take your pay slip before going on maternity and then the letter from the employer and go from there. It's all good. Where are you based? Would like to get in touch. So I am based in Bristol, but we work with clients all over the UK because our process is totally remote. So wherever you are, feel free to book in a call. It's no obligation booking a call and it's free. The only time we charge a fee is when we get your formal mortgage offer. So you can be based anywhere in the UK. It's magical. What's the difference between broker and advisor? A very good question. There is absolutely no difference between a broker and advisor. It's just terminology. No difference at all. Remote equals winner. Yeah. It's probably the only benefit that's come out of COVID, isn't it? The fact that all these processes can move to being remote. It means you haven't got to have an awkward mortgage advisor come and sit in your front room as well. Or you have to make the effort to go to an office. I don't like that. Nice and easy. All done remotely. Phone calls, email, all that kind of jazz. All good. Does paying rent previously help with being approved on the mortgage due to showing we can pay? Unfortunately not. And it's crazy, isn't it? It should do. There is one product out there where it does, but everything else, no. 100% remote also means seeing the kids more. When? Yeah, it does. It does. You're right. They are in the other room under strict instructions to be quiet. Right, it's time to wrap up. So I'm going to remind you, if you're not following already, do hit the follow button because I go on live quite a bit. Does running quotes via L&C affect credit score? It depends what point they're at. I wouldn't do it. Just go to a decent broker and get it done right first time. Can you get a mortgage on single income with dependents? Yes. As a first-time buyer on 35k, and I'd like to get approved for a mortgage. No reason why not. If you've got deposit and income, yeah. How many lenders do you check? We have access to the whole market. We do not operate off a limited panel. That's another thing that you might get with brokers that don't charge a fee. They might operate off a limited panel who pay them higher commissions, which is detrimental to you because you don't get the full choice of the market. Right, so don't forget to follow. Where's the follow? It's probably... Oh, my hand's going to disappear. It's going to be at the top, though. So hit the follow button and get in touch if you want. You can book in a free call using the website or the link in the TikTok bio. Also, you can get a free Check My File report through the link in the TikTok bio. So I would encourage you to do all of that. But the time has come. I must bid you farewell because I have a mountain of work to be getting on with. I only came on live to have a bit of a break from all the work I've got to do. I shall be working long into the evening, I think, but that's fine. Part of the job. That's what you get with a paid-for broker. So, thank you all. Thank you very much. Thank you for your questions. Thank you for joining me. And until next time, keep safe and well. Don't forget, what's your fees for application? We don't charge a fee for application. We charge $349 when we get you a formal mortgage offer. So after application, all that kind of stuff. So all good stuff. Again, right, I've got to go. So book in a call if you want, and I will speak to you soon. I'm off for a couple of days now, so I won't be doing a live. Probably not. I'll still be replying to emails and stuff, but we're going away for the weekend.